What's up, YouTube? This is Mathos97 and welcome back to another episode of WWE 2K14 Universe Mode. And today we're here with episode 18 and still on the road to Night of Champions. So let's go ahead and check out our rivalries. As you can see here, this is what we got. This is what we got cooking so far this month. Seth Rollins somehow. I've tried to keep Seth Rollins out of this WWE title picture, but somehow that boy is finding a way to get up there, staying in the consistent 1 or 2 spot. So, I don't know what to do but at this point. But as we can see, we have the debut. Well, I guess you could say the debut kind of in this universe mode. But in 2K14, the debut of Big E Langston against The Miz. Daniel Bryan and Kane teamed up against the Shields. We got a bit of a Team Hell No reunion there. Brodus versus Zack, Ryder. Cesaro versus Bray Wyatt. And then the main event, John Cena versus Dean Ambrose in a Falls Count Anywhere match. But the Shield defeats the reunited Team Hell No, and Antonio Cesaro defeats Bray Wyatt by submission. And it looks like competition is heating up between Cesaro and Bray Wyatt, so we're going to have to see where that could lead. But next up we have Big E Langston's 2K14 debut against The Miz here. And The Miz, surprisingly, has actually gotten some victories. I mean, he didn't defeat Swagger for the US title on main event this past Wednesday, but he has been getting some victories, so we'll have to see if Big E Langston can step up to the plate and get the win here.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring, from Tampa, Florida, weighing 302 pounds, Big E Langston.
Listen to this WWE Universe. They've been waiting all night to see their favorite superstar.
Approaching the ring from Illinois, weighing 231 pounds, The Miz.
Here we go.
Alright, so let's get into this one. Big E Langston. Looks like we're going to be playing as Big E. But as far as Big E Langston goes in this universe mode, this isn't his debut. Back in WWE 13, he was as part of a tag team with Dolph Ziggler, known as the Ascension. And Big E and Ziggler, they at one point were competing for the tag team titles. As if you remember or not, back at the Vengeance pay-per-view, they faced off against the New Millennia, Jack Swagger and Zack Ryder, for the then vacant tag team titles. Of course, the New Millennia won and then defeated the Ascension the following Monday Night Raw. And since then, we haven't seen Big E Langston, partially due to the fact that he was on DLC. So rather than trying to find some sort of creative wrestler last minute, I figured I'd just wait for the DLC. And we haven't gotten too far in this universe, so he's only been gone for about a month, but we get to see Big E Langston back in action here. And he's got to go one-on-one with The Miz, who Miz is actually up there in the rankings for the United States Championship. However, he did fall just short against Jack Swagger. And speaking of the U.S. title, we have Big E's former tag team partner, Dolph Ziggler. He seems to be in quite a foul mood with Jack Swagger once again, as he's been attacking Swagger over on main event 2 weeks in a row. He attacked him with a steel pipe after Swagger was victorious. As we all know, Swagger in that triple threat match a few weeks ago against CM Punk and Seth Rollins, Ziggler came out then and attacked him with a pipe. And then after the U.S. title match, Ziggler once again came out with that same pipe and attacked Swagger once again. So, who would be number 1 in that U.S. title rankings? Well, Ziggler sure is trying to make a case for himself to be up there. Miz is doing a pretty good job stringing together some victories. He may have lost, but that does put him still near, like, in the upper area of that U.S. title scene. And then we have Big E Langston, who just coming back, just getting back into things here in the WWE. So we're going to have to see if Big E Langston, a victory here, definitely could help him get up there in the rankings, as Miz, one of the top contenders in the United States Championship division. So this would be a big victory for Big E Langston. And string together a few more, and he just might get a U.S. title shot with Jack Swagger. In fact, Big E has actually had one match with Jack Swagger back at Capital Punishment. The U.S. title was on the line, and Big E Langston just fell short of defeating Jack Swagger at that event. So this would be Big E's second shot at the U.S. title. And Jack Swagger, he's actually held that championship since Extreme Rules when he won it from Santino. So Jack Swagger, I think he's the longest reigning champion in our universe mode at the moment. So we'll have to see exactly how much longer he can keep up this reign as the champion. But now we have The Miz here. He's got Big E Langston, and he dropped him right on his head there with that snapmare driver. And now Miz hooks the leg here. Not even a 1 count as Big E Langston kicks out. He'll have none of that. Big E's got a lot left in the tank. And he went for the clothesline, but Miz ducks it. And now Big E off the ropes with a nice shoulder charge. Takes down The Miz. And now punching Miz in the face there. But anyway, so Big E now, he's got Miz up on his feet. Looking maybe for a gutbuster here, or maybe some sort of backbreaker there. He connects with whatever that was. And now Big E, there's the double axe handle there to the back of The Miz. But Miz now counters and gets back to his feet. Big E now with an Irish whip. And look at this, a Hurricanrana by The Miz. He's got Big E stacked up on his shoulders, but no, Big E Langston kicks out and stays alive in this one. And here's Miz, skull-crushing finale, and into the cover. 1, 2, 3, and The Miz defeats Big E Langston. I know the AI putting up quite a fight there, but The Miz knocks off Big E Langston here tonight. And like I was saying, Miz, with these victories, if he keeps putting together a few more, he may find himself back in that championship picture. But speaking of The Miz, he's also got some issues with his car. If we remember last week on Raw, someone backstage blew up Miz's car. So Miz obviously been using that anger to try and fuel the fire here and try to get some more victories, and it appears to be working. Miz being a little more aggressive as of late. Could partially be due, in fact, to the damage done to his car. But anyway, now we get to move on to a matchup here between Brodus Clay and Zack Ryder.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Planet Funk, weighing 375 pounds, one half of the WWE Tag Team Champions, the Funkasaurus, Brodus Clay.
And if you want to know how popular this superstar is, just listen to these cheers.
Approaching the ring, representing the new millennium from Long Island, New York, weighing in at 214 pounds, Zack Ryder.
It's Long Island, I see. The crowd gets louder as he gets closer to the ring.
So these two teams, the team of Tons of Funk, Brodus Clay, and Tensai, Tons of Funk actually won the tag team titles at SummerSlam, and I'm still sort of surprised that they got there. I mean, Tons of Funk, not exactly, you know, when you think of top-tier tag teams, you don't think of Tons of Funk. You wouldn't put them on that list, but Tons of Funk, they got some victories. They ended up defeating the Primetime Players to get the tag team title opportunity, and then they went on to defeat the New Millennia for the tag team titles. So that's actually kind of shocking. And now we have the New Millennia back on their quest. They've got a rematch clause. They'll be cashing that in at Night of Champions. So trying to get back on the winning path here and try to get some victories. And maybe, hopefully, they can get that tag team titles, or get the tag team titles back from Tons of Funk at Night of Champions. But until then, Tons of Funk, they get to celebrate as the tag team champions. The first time we get to see Brodus Clay come out with the gold, by himself anyway. And now, Brodus Clay blocks a punch there, but Zack Ryder with a nice counter. As Swagger and Ryder, they hadn't held those titles for too long, but they were always top team in the tag team titles division. If we remember back to Over the Limit, at that point in time, the New Millennia was a team of 3. It was Swagger, Ryder, and R-Truth. But then R-Truth, I don't know what that whole deal was back then, but they were competing against Air Boom for the tag titles. And after the match, Ryder and Truth had got the victory. But then after the match, R-Truth and Kofi attacked Ryder with a double concerto. So I still fail to grasp what that whole cutscene was about. But then we saw Zack Ryder the night afterwards run over R-Truth with his limo, or some sort of vehicle. And we haven't seen R-Truth since. He suffered an injury. I believe it was a broken collarbone. And we still have not yet seen from R-Truth since. And since then, the titles were vacated. And then, of course, the New Millennia won it back at Vengeance. So Zack Ryder is currently a 2-time tag team champion in this universe mode. Could be looking to make it 3-time tag team champion if they could defeat Tons of Funk at Night of Champions. As Zack Ryder, they were just out on the outside, but Brodus Clay now back in the ring. Zack Ryder, I'm not sure what he's doing. He's glitching out or something here. But anyway, referee was at a 4 count. Brodus Clay rolled outside the ring, broke the count, and now looking to get back in control here of Zack Ryder as he's working on the arm there. And Brodus Clay, not much of a technical wrestler, but we've seen in the past number of weeks that Tons of Funk have been stepping up their game, tapping into deeper reserves of their offense that we gave them credit for. And now a T-bone suplex, and I think the back of Ryder's head, oh my god, that looks painful. But I think the back of Ryder's head may have connected off that steel ring post. Just look at the way his head was angled there. But Ryder now, nice elbow block from Brodus to reverse. And that was a flapjack there right onto the outside. As, like I was saying, Tons of Funk, they had been tapping into some deeper reserves of their offense. And since then, there's now starting to try to expand their offense here. And another T-bone suplex there by Brodus Clay. So much for expanding their offense there, but Brodus Clay now, that was a count of 5. He's back in the ring. 6 count now. Ryder still out on his feet here. Like I said, it looked like the back of his head may have hit off the steel ring post earlier on, so he may be a little woozy, maybe seeing stars at this point. As now Brodus went for the kick to the gut, but Ryder blocked it. And now a nice running bulldog there from Brodus Clay. Ryder now back to his feet, but wait a minute. Brodus now just kicking away at Ryder, and I think that's Jack Swagger's music. Swagger's music is hitting. Is Swagger coming out to ringside here? I don't know. But whatever it is, it's distracted Brodus Clay. And now Ryder back to his feet. Brodus Clay now trying to regain his composure. As, I don't know, is Jack Swagger coming out to ringside? I'm not sure, but there was his music. Is now Ryder back to his feet here. Could be looking for that new DLC comeback. And yes, I see Jack Swagger out there at ringside. So trying to play some mind games, distract Brodus Clay here as Ryder takes him down with a nice leg sweep. And now into the cover. 1. No, Brodus Clay staying alive. It's going to take more than that. A simple distraction by Jack Swagger isn't going to be enough to put away Brodus Clay. Ryder, he's going to have to come up with some big moves, try to get himself back into this one. 1. No, once again, Brodus Clay kicks out. As now, nice spine buster there from Brodus. As now Brodus trying to stay alive in this one. Dragging Ryder away from the ropes, hooking the leg. 1, 2, No! Zack Ryder just manages to kick out there. It was almost a 3 count. Cutting it a little close there was Ryder, but now a nice neck breaker there to Brodus Clay. And into the cover. 1, 2. Never mind. Only a 1 count as Brodus kicked out around 2. And now Ryder has Brodus Clay. And he sends him shoulder first into the steel ring post. That's one way to take out the power of Brodus Clay. Try to work on that arm. And now with that face wash, just running his boot across the face of Brodus Clay. And into the cover. 1. And once again, Brodus Clay kicks out. Staying alive in this contest is Ryder. Hard Irish whip sending Brodus Clay into the corner. And once again, looking to go for another cover. Frequent pinfall attempts from Ryder. And once again, Brodus kicks out. But that will take away some of Brodus Clay, or it's forcing Brodus to use energy that he otherwise wouldn't have been using, forcing him to kick out of these pinfall attempts. Is now Brodus into the cover. 1, 2, but Zack Ryder kicks out at 2. And now Brodus, another running bulldog there, planting Ryder into the mat. But Ryder makes it back to his feet. And there's a nice drop kick, sending Brodus Clay down to the mat. And now Brodus back in control, sending Ryder into the corner. And now Brodus, oh, you've got to be kidding me. Brodus is not going to do this. Well, clearly he is. Brodus Clay up on that top rope here. Dangerous position here. And a superplex off the top rope to the outside. And, well, okay, I have faith in Brodus Clay now. I have faith in Tons of Funk. A few weeks ago, this team was a nobody team, and in a span of a couple weeks, they've turned into... I don't understand this transformation here from Tons of Funk. Almost out of nowhere. Like, where were they keeping all this hidden in-ring ability? As Brodus hit a superplex off the top to the outside. But Ryder now trying to rebound. And I don't know, we haven't... Seeing what Tons of Funk has done, we're going to have to see... the new millennia, they're going to have to step up their game if they hope to defeat Tons of Funk. 2 count, and Ryder kicks out. But Brodus, has the damage been done? I don't know if Ryder can come back in this one. There's an abdominal stretch. I know he used that to beat Darren Young a few weeks ago on SmackDown. Or, actually, no, it was the other way around. Ryder tapped out to Darren Young's abdominal stretch. But anyway, my mistake. Brodus now counters there. And another running bulldog to Zack Ryder. And Brodus once again looks like he's going to set up a pinfall here. And he does. 1, 2. No! Zack Ryder just manages to kick out there. And there's a nice running headbutt from Brodus Clay right to the chest, to the sternum there of Zack Ryder. And Brodus into the cover. 1, 2, 3. And Brodus Clay defeats Zack Ryder here tonight. And Brodus Clay put on quite a showing here. Very surprising to see Brodus Clay. I just can't believe Brodus Clay. I didn't think Brodus could wrestle that well, but Brodus Clay really proving us all wrong here tonight with that. I don't know. I was not expecting Brodus to go for a superplex. I'm just lost for words here. Let's just go ahead, take a moment to watch Brodus Clay dance with the Funkadactyls here. Okay, that's a pretty cool celebration. I've actually never seen the Brodus Clay celebration in full before, so I guess this is pretty cool. Whoever did the Brodus Clay motion capture did a pretty good job. But anyway, let's move on to this main event. A singles Falls Count Anywhere match. John Cena versus Dean Ambrose. These two are going to go one-on-one. As last week, I think Seth Rollins defeated John Cena. And Ambrose wasting little time to get this one underway, attacking Cena from behind. But last week, Seth Rollins, surprising victory over John Cena. Seth Rollins pulled off a major upset there. I actually got a comment, oh, that's not realistic. Seth Rollins wouldn't beat John Cena. Well, to be fair, it was an AI-controlled match. I had no control over the outcome, so don't blame me. But yeah, even I was surprised that Rollins got the victory over Cena there. Ambrose now with an elbow to the face of John Cena. As it's weird, this is a Falls Count Anywhere match, but the match doesn't actually start until both superstars are in the ring. I don't really understand that, but now the bell's going to ring and this is going to get underway. It does that for normal matches too, but the thing about that is you'd think if the match hasn't started, you could use weapons and stuff. Well, no, that's not the case. I think that's something that 2K could work on, and maybe in WWE 2K15, make it possibly so that you could use weapons if it's before the match. I doubt that's something we would get, but I don't know. It's just a little weird that the match hasn't started yet, but you can't use weapons. I don't know, unless it's already a no disqualification match. But I'm rambling at this point. Ambrose now has Cena into the corner, and Ambrose with the body shots to John Cena, as already Seth Rollins has defeated John Cena, and the Shield, they attacked Cena last week. Cena was named #1 contender by Vince McMahon after Cena defeated CM Punk at SummerSlam, which was a match where, heading into that one, we didn't think Cena was going to get any reward out of that match, but CM Punk, if he had won, he would have had a match versus Daniel Bryan, and sadly, CM Punk was not victorious, so we're still going to have to wait on that potential matchup between CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. But for now, John Cena here, going to challenge for the WWE Championship at Night of Champions, and there's a nice scoop slam to Dean Ambrose, and now an elbow to the face, as now Cena going to the outside. And it looks like he's going to go for some sort of weapon here. Ambrose over there on the apron, and Cena's got a table here. Ambrose went for an axe handle, but he missed, and now Cena attacking Ambrose with that table. And now Cena putting the table down. But there's a low blow there from Dean Ambrose, and it's all legal. No disqualification. It's false count anywhere. And Cena rocketed into the steel steps there as Ambrose, he's going to bring the table into the ring. Cena's going to pick up the steel steps here. So wasting a little time to introduce some toys into this one, as Cena now has the steel steps back. Ambrose trying to take him from Cena here. And Cena now trying to wrestle him back from Ambrose. And Cena, with the power of Cena, you definitely don't want to take too many shots with the steel steps. But the same goes for Ambrose, as he just takes out Cena with the steel steps right to the face. And now Ambrose, DDT there, and I think Ambrose is going to start to work on the head of John Cena. First with the steel steps, then with the DDT, as he's got Cena now into the ropes. And it looks like he's going for a bit of a tornado DDT here, planting Cena into the mat. And now Ambrose, Cena back to his feet here, maybe looking for the 5 moves of doom. Punch to the face of Ambrose. And now Cena dragging Ambrose. He's got him up against that table here. And now Cena placing Ambrose on top of that table. And there was a chop there, and another one by Cena. I thought he was going to try to maybe put Ambrose through it, but Ambrose rolls off the table as Cena took too much time there. And now with the body shot, sending Ambrose over the top rope. So it looks like we're not going to get to see that table get used yet. Bummer. But fans didn't even get a chance to chant, "We want tables," and we got the table introduced in the match. But it's still sitting there for now. Maybe we'll get to see it later. But now Ambrose has Cena up against the barricade, looking to regain control with the vicious punches to the face. Ambrose with those vicious shots right to the face of Cena. As now Cena with the Thez press, and he's going to fire back with some right hands of his own across the face of Dean Ambrose there. And Cena could be looking maybe for another weapon. He's digging under the ring here. What's he going to find? It looks like he's got a sledgehammer, but Ambrose takes the sledgehammer back. And now there's one to the face. And now he's just choking out John Cena with the wood handle of that sledgehammer right across the throat of John Cena. And now here's Ambrose dragging Cena. Oh no, he's not going to do this. He did it a few weeks ago to The Undertaker. Remember, he hit that face buster on the steel steps. Ambrose could be thinking the same thing here for John Cena. Oh, and a drop toe hold. I think he just narrowly missed the steps there. But Ambrose now, he's got Cena. And there's that face buster there, and I think he might have put Cena right over that sledgehammer, the handle of the sledgehammer. And now Ambrose, he's up on the announce table here, and Ambrose with a nice reverse elbow off the top of the announce table. Very innovative move there by Dean Ambrose. And now Cena once again back with a Thez press, attacking Ambrose. But now anyway, John Cena, nice belly-to-belly suplex there, taking down Dean Ambrose. Ambrose now connects with a punch right to the face. And now he's looking to bring the action back inside of the ring Nice elbow there to the face of Cena. And Ambrose now picking up John Cena, but Cena looking to maybe get Ambrose up against that table once again. Ambrose counters, went for the kick to the gut. Cena counters with a drop kick now. Not too often do we see Cena use a drop kick. As now Cena, he's got a steel chair. But I was actually saying, like I had said the other, it was a little while back, but I was saying, like, what kind of new moves could John Cena use? Because it seemed like, you know, instead of doing a heel turn, he just adds some moves into his moveset, into his arsenal that he'll just randomly bust out of nowhere, like the sit-out powerbomb or his Cena Karana, or a drop kick, I guess in this case, a monkey flip. He just recently added in the neck breaker, I don't know what you would call it, kind of like a half Nelson neck breaker, I guess, where, you know, he just throws him up and then hits him with the neck breaker. I don't, like, what else could Cena use? I'm sure there's more moves, but, I mean, I'm sure he'll think of something. That's just kind of been, you know, Cena, I'm actually kind of, I don't know, I have to give Cena credit now, and, I mean, I don't know, he just, like, trolls everybody. I mean, I kind of like what they're doing with John Cena now in the WWE, where he's not really, you know, he did have his title run against Mark Henry. He was given the world title, but really, for the whole unification storyline to go down, if it had been Del Rio, that wouldn't have really made any sense. I mean, the title wasn't as quote-unquote prestigious, but then when you give it to John Cena, that's kind of the only way you can merge the belts, because Cena, you know, he's a top-tier guy. So if you want to merge the belts, you need to have two top-tier guys, and Cena was just how they decided to go about it. They brought back Cena, and that's how that whole thing went down. But I kind of like the way he's being used now. Oh, he went for the Hurricanrana, but Ambrose caught him with a power bomb there, and now firing the gun as, yeah, my controller is messing up a little bit there. I hate when it does that. Sometimes it'll just randomly taunt. It'll screw up, actually. Oh, I don't know. But anyway, it's working now. Ambrose kicks out at the count of 2. But yeah, I have this weird controller where sometimes it'll just randomly spaz out. Like, it'll just hit random buttons by itself. And luckily, I was actually able to turn this one off fairly quickly. Usually, one time I was actually doing it, and it actually turned my PS3 off by itself, and I was in the middle of a game, so that kind of sucked. But luckily, nothing was turned off here, so we can continue back with the match. And he plants John Cena face first into the mat. And now he's dragging Cena, maybe gonna try to get him through that table as he props him up against it here, but now it's Cena's turn to fight out of the table there. And now Cena, once again with the Thez press, as dangerously close to that table. I'm surprised no one's been put through it yet. We've had very close calls. One, but Ambrose kicks out, staying alive here. Neither superstar can afford to give here. Cena now has Ambrose once again up against the table. And now he's got him there. And this time Cena, is he going to maybe go to the top rope? Yep, Cena climbing to the top rope here. He has an opportunity to put Dean Ambrose away, but I think Cena hesitated there, and that cost him as Ambrose taking Cena down off the top rope there and puts him through the table. I think Cena might have temporarily lost his balance or something, but he hesitated, and that could cost him now, as it's Ambrose looking to set him up for that face buster, but Cena blocks it. Cena reverses, and a big one-handed bulldog from Cena into the cover. 1, 2, no, Ambrose kicks out. And now Cena trying to get back into this one, but has the damage been done? He's been put through the table. But Cena doing whatever he can to stay alive in this one. And here's Ambrose now. Big knee to the face of John Cena. And Ambrose was going to the corner there and maybe been looking to go for the knee, but Cena got back to his feet too quickly. And here's Ambrose now. Once again, DDT putting Cena right at the top of his head into the mat. And here's Ambrose measuring Cena. Could be going for that knee trembler. Fires the gun. But Cena gets out of the way of the knee trembler there. And now it's John Cena. Blocks the punch of Ambrose. And he's got him up on his shoulders here. Could be looking for the AA. Attitude adjustment connects by John Cena as he avoided the knee into the cover. 1, 2, 3, and John Cena defeats Dean Ambrose here tonight, getting a bit of retribution from that loss to Seth Rollins last week. As Ambrose, he came close there, as you see the face buster partially connected onto the handle of the sledgehammer. but Ambrose was going for the knee trembler, and Cena just managed to sidestep it, roll out of the way. And here, as you can see, when Ambrose put Cena through that table, yes, we did get to see the table getting used. And then finally Cena capped it all off with the AA, the vintage John Cena. What the hell? That's the Undertaker. We heard the gong. And what the hell is the Undertaker want? Undertaker, Cena by the throat, a choke slam. And what has the Undertaker just done? Why is Undertaker targeted John Cena with a choke slam? Definitely making a surprising impact here, but what beef does the Undertaker have with John Cena to come out and choke slam him after a big win? I mean, the Undertaker, he's had his issues with the Shield, and now he's attacking John Cena. I thought these two would be on the same side, but apparently I'm wrong there. So anyway, what a great episode of Universe Mode we had here. It's a very shocking finish, but I want to thank you all for watching. Keep on YouTubing.